What's going on, Fantasy Balls team managers? We're back, week 9. I didn't really prep an intro, and I know I do that thing that you guys are gonna make fun of me for now, but I just blanked. So that's great. Doors closed today, Chumba. Fucking don't want to hear you whining about shit. So go fuck yourself. Let's get into it. Week 9, good week, pretty good week, boys. Around the league, huge implications here, and we're gonna start off with the biggest of them all. Game of the week ended up being not too much of a doozy, but actually it did. So, Runge versus Stern. Return of the King versus Honey Badgers. And what happened? Runge, I'm not going to say ran away with it, but he got the W, fair and square, except Rungus did not do his duty from the week prior, where he owed a chug, and because of that, Runge loses 15 points and ends up losing this matchup. 138.34 to 137.8. And Runge, I know what you're going to say. You're going to be like, oh, Will, I texted you. I said I was going to make it up this week when you get home. I know you're abroad. I know you're traveling. But rules are rules, Runge. There was no approval in the league to delay your chug. So here we are. And I know it's not a chug for you. I understand that. Fine by me. Fine by everybody. I think we all appreciate. But, oh God, more Giants quarterback news. But as commissioner of this league, I have to be fair. I have to be equal, except when it comes to John. Fuck, he's gonna clip that and just anytime. I did that one to myself. But I gotta be fair, Runge. Nobody approved a delay in said chug, and it passed the Sunday deadline. I want to actually double check and make sure. Week 8, he was the lowest scorer, right? Because I just took he scored 88. That was the embarrassing one. Yeah. So yeah, Runge. I'm sorry, buddy. Didn't get approved. I know you asked a question in the group chat, but nobody really commented on it. So, I'm sorry, dude. You lose this one, which has huge implications in the long run, because Jake and Runge are now tied with Chumba at 6-3. All three of them are 6-3, separated by head-to-head matchup and then points scored. 6-3, all of them, with a couple of games left to go. So huge playoff implications right there. Lots. I'm going to do an update of the scoreboard or the standings at the end. But huge game. Huge that didn't get approved for Runge. Unfortunate, but I have to abide by the rules that are approved by the league. And I proposed that chug be due by Thursday night. The league vetoed that and said Sunday night, give the boys a chance to do it on the weekend. I said fine. And your extension did not get approved. And I can't do it, Runge. So you lose this one. Real close, too. At first glance, I was like, oh, it's not going to make a difference, whatever. But I'm still going to, take the points off. Ended up making a difference. Then we go to Johnny Boy versus Chumba. Another very, very good game. 125.88 to 123.38. Great game here, nice and close. John sneaks away with the W. Got a little lucky, played the Giants defense, who did not have a great game this weekend. And, they had -1. It could have been worse. Spent a lot of time on the field. John's best receiver didn't have a huge game. Tight end made up for it. Okay? Chumba's heroes that just seem to miraculously have huge games every week. Pretty average. John didn't know how to do math, though. Struggled with the math of Tyreek Hill, and he's like, how come Tyreek Hill didn't lose points for the fumble that he had? And it's like, well, John, if you go into his statistics, it might not say fumble, because there's no fumble line. I'm looking at it right now. There's no fumble, but if you did the math, you would have realized that there was a -2, which in our league, a fumble is -2 points. So the points were taken away. John had a little freak out, which, looking at the final score is fair. Chumba gets +2. This game is only separated by 0.5. 0.50, right? That's half a point for those of you counting along at home. So, that did make somewhat of a difference, made it a little bit of a stretch game, not as close. John still would have had the win. But it would have been a little bit closer. John would have been peckering his butthole all night, Sunday night or Monday night. Did he have anybody on Monday? I don't remember. The Jets. Yeah, he did have. Yeah. So would have been puckering his butthole, making sure Garrett Wilson did okay. Oh, Garrett Wilson, didn't he also have a fumble? Didn't that happen? So maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. Whatever. But John gets the W here. That's where Chumba falls to 6-3 instead of being 7-2, and makes that tie at the top of the Upstate Division. Next, we're going to Upstate New York Sucks versus Diversity Inclusion. This one's a bit of a wider gap, 113 to 102. Still a good game though, right? We're talking about 11-point different. Technically, I think it would be, just like 11 point something, 11.3. I think is the difference. Actually, no, it's the other way. I think it would have been 10 point something. I can't do the math off the top of my head. Whatever. Tough for Connor. Cooper Kupp, rookie quarterback, first start. I experienced the same kind of thing with Puka Nacua, so I understand Connor. But Cooper Kupp has a normal game. Gets at least 10 points. You get a W here probably. Couple other people, little low scoring for what they're used to. Brochard had some good games. Austin Eckler really came through for him. 2 touchdowns on Monday Night Football. Helped him get the W. Connor's defense, the Jets, had 8 points, but those 2 touchdowns really overpowered. Couldn't keep up with it. Close game, good game. Connor still only 1 win on the season. But he's getting respectable losses. Like, I can respect this. It was close, It's not like he's getting blown out. Next, my game with Eddie, myself and Eddie, Sun Gods versus Barkley's Thunder Thighs. Eddie still does not have Saquon Barkley and still has the Barkley's Thunder Thighs. The fuck was that chopping? This was oof. I was puckered up watching the Jets game. For those of you that don't know, Eddie has Breece Hall and Justin Herbert. I had about a little less than 20-point lead going into the game, right? Because Herbert and Breece Hall combined for 17. Eddie beat me by less than 2 points. I was 103.94. Eddie had 105.54. So those two, I was real close game. I was hoping once that the Chargers got the lead, I was hoping the Jets defense really just stuck up secondary, stopped passing the ball and just ran it, and then that the Jets were playing from behind and they had to pass it a lot. Close game, great game. I do have a quote from Runge, defending league champ, and I'm gonna pull it up. I should have pulled it up ahead of time. That's on me, honestly. My bad, fellas. Runge said that he'll be back home on the 11th to the 12th and will deliver last week's punishment. Too late, Runge. Couldn't wait that long. But Runge's quote, This definitely cements Eddie in the imposter category, winning games by 1 or 2 points and leading his division. You heard it here first, folks. Justin Runge calling out Eddie Cramsey, the top record in the league, as a fraud. I know we've been talking about it. Eddie's been squeaking away some victories, getting lucky, low-scoring games. Got called out. Got called out by the defending champ. Not me. It's a quote, direct quote. Pulled it up, direct quote. Didn't say it myself. Quoting somebody else, not the commissioner, somebody else. Getting called out, Eddie. Got to step up. And then we're going to wrap this week up. Team Wallach took down the Seattle Sucker Punchers in a bit of a surprise, right? Sucker Punchers were doing good. They were 4-4 headed into this game. Team Wallach 1-7, just like Upstate New York Sucks Connor was. Team Wallach walks away with the victory here, though. Some really solid performances. Amari Cooper, Cole Kmet, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott all had 23 or more, 23 and a half or more. So really good game from Griff's players, 138 points to 107. Don't remember if I said that. Just a tough week for Alec. Still fighting for that playoff spot. I noticed that I'm over 10 minutes now. So I'm going to try and run through the standings real quick. On the Long Island side, we had that was a long Long Island. You know, I got the G in there. I don't really normally have an accent like that. On the Long Island side, Barclays Thunder Thighs, Eddie, still commanding 8-1, only 8-1 team, 99% chance to make the playoffs. Followed by Boogeyman, Johnny K, John K. Sex, for those of you that know. Came back, talked a lot of shit in baseball season. Here he is pushing for the playoffs. Then we got Diversity Inclusion, the Sun Gods, myself, and Connor Donlin, Upstate New York Sucks, at the bottom, 1-8 with a 1% chance to make the playoffs. On the Upstate side, like I mentioned, we have 3 teams tied at 6-3. That's Chumba, Win or Lose We Booze, Jake, Honey Badgers, and Runge, Return of the King. In that order, 1, 2, 3. Then we got Alec, the Seattle Sucker Punchers, 4-5. Oh my God, you made that your name before you moved to Seattle. I don't know why I just connected that. And then Team Wallach, 2-7, down at the bottom, 5% chance to make the playoffs. Getting down to it, fellas. We are heading into Week 8. Week 10. Don't know where that came from. Heading into Week 10. That means we got 5 games left, including this week. Right, so really getting down to it. Nobody's been eliminated officially yet. Nobody's officially clinched a spot. Top 6 teams. First 2 get a bye. This week's game of the week, we got Johnny K. Sex, and we got Diversity Inclusion, Justin Brochard. 5-4, Johnny, and 4-5, Brochard. Big playoff implications here for the Long Island division. Again, it's top 6 teams. Only the first 2 on each division make it. After that, it's the next 4. So if one of these teams want to make the playoffs, they got to win this game, I think. I think the winner of this game really impacts the playoff race, with the other upstate division being a lot more close and solid. One of these guys got to win this game if they want to make the playoffs. So that's the recap. Week 9 in the books, heading into Week 10. Best of luck to everybody. Giants are playing the Cowboys, so I'm going to kill myself.